Yo, what's up everyone, I'm Woozle Gaming. Today, I'm going to be giving you the Conjuror DPS guide. Now, some of you say it's the support path for Elementalists. You are correct, it is. However, I have found that the damage that the Conjuror Path deals is actually pretty solid, at least from what I've tested myself. Now, I haven't fully tested out Fire and Ice yet, but if you would like to see videos on those and have guides out, let me know down in the comment section, and also hit that like button to show you interest in doing those guides as well. And depending how well received this video is, would depend on how fast I can get those next videos out for you guys. So yeah, the damage output is actually pretty good, and the support it provides is really good, mostly for your casters. However, there is a kind of damage reduction in terms of support for nearby allies, but it's nothing spectacular. I'm going to come through every single thing that this class and this path even is going to provide you. So the last damage test I did was 8.4k. It wasn't a small dummy, keep that in mind, because the boss dummy will be a lot less. But I'll be doing a boss dummy for my future rotation once I unlock the new skills and update my talents, because my talents are all level 1. So this is just a pure rotation video. Once I unlock the talents and get the talents leveled up, things might change in terms of priority, because things will be stronger and stuff. But that requires a lot of testing, and I will come back to that in future updated guides and stuff. So definitely stay tuned. Anyways, the character rating, because I know some of you will be wanting to know, is only 24,428. I haven't really changed anything in terms of my gear. I think I changed one of the accessories. The character score, now, this is why I'm actually using a small dummy, not the boss dummy, because my spell penetration, or sorry, my spell penetration is 1.2%. You know, it's not like 15% or anything, and my spell accuracy is a whopping 95%, and that should be at least 110% for the boss dummy, so you don't get all your attacks are faded. I actually still get a faded and dodged on the small dummies, and yeah, that's saying something. My spell crit actually saw is only 3.7%. Spell damage is 854 to 925, which isn't actually too bad for a starting up class, but it's nothing special. Like, people are rocking up 1.6, 1.7k plus now. And then intellect, 363. Now, with the Conjurers, intellect is actually really good, and I'm going to show you why. So if you quickly go over to skills, you've got your Conjurer 1, which obviously is activated for me, and you click on this one here, magic feedback. Using elemental matrix increases intellect by 100.5%, and it scales. So the higher you get your intellect, the more intellect you get whenever you use it, and you have this activated for yourself, your own personal one, about 66% of the fight, using it pretty much dead on cooldown. And not just that, if you have other conjurers within your team, you will also benefit from their one, which obviously by using it, mystics and elementalist on your team will gain 50.25%. obviously it goes up depending on how high your talent is. That is again really good, making intellect also much better for mystics and elementalists in general. And yeah, it is fantastic. It really does provide a nice boost. So the higher your intellect and the higher you got the talent, the much better it's going to be. So if you've got 600 intellect, this would then boost it to up, you know, to 1,200, for example. So yeah, definitely worth it. The next one is the Conjuring Force. Now, Conjuring Force is the path skill of the Conjurers, and essentially what it does is it just increases your damage and increases the range that you can attack at. Now, the range is actually really massive. I couldn't really find anywhere where I couldn't actually reach the monster, but that will require a little bit more testing, because I've only really done it on the dummies. However, some boss rooms are massive, and I will be checking out the range in like a future testing video maybe, or a stream. But it's all about this skill here, the magic efficiency. Conjuring Force causes an extra 335 damage when elementalists deal damage to their targets. Now, this is actually really crazy. This is what makes the Fiery Magma and the Dragon Breath, and even the Inferno, not so much the Inferno, but mostly the Dragon Breathing and the Fiery Magma, so much better, because they have damage over time, which is, you know, what I call dots, and it adds the 335, including the extra additional damage from using the Conjuring Force skill itself, and makes them deal so much more damage, making them very, very strong. And that is why Elementalist rotation is going to be mostly a priority rather than a rotation. I will come back to that once we get it going, but it's going to be an opening burst, and then you make sure that you always use Dragon Breathing and Fiery Magma under Conjuring Force Fiery Magma you can use outside because the cooldown is really short, but you always want to save the Dragon Breathing for the Conjuring Force, unless if you've got a reset, and yeah, because obviously Conjuring Force can't be reset and stuff, you don't want to wait like literally 20 seconds to use Dragon Breathing, so you'll just use it when it comes to cooldown and you'll just save it for the next one. Okay, so now that I've pretty much covered everything in terms of the damage, the other little bit of support that the Conjurers does provide is the Wind Wall. Now Wind Wall, whenever you use it, it puts a little shield on yourself, and it also makes your mana costs reduced for 16.75% for me at the moment. However, you're not going to be using it for that, so you do not need to really level that particular talent up for the time being, at least, unless if you're having mana issues. But I found that the Elementalists don't really use that much mana, and that's also because using the Conjurers, whenever you use the Elemental Matrix, you actually restore some mana as well when you use it, so keep that in mind too. But it's actually for, where is it? This one here. When Wind Wall is shattered, it reduces incoming damage by 16.75%, also puts the shield on you, and you also reduce the damage for your nearby allies for 3 seconds. So nearby allies next to you are going to get the damage reduction as well, which is actually really good, especially for those really high damage reduction hits that come in, and it's going to be perfect for like higher up, level up Elemental Lords, or some really hard bosses in raids. If you guys are progressing, you're going to want the, you know, the Elementalists to literally get everyone around them, all stack up, boom, 16.75% or even higher once the paths and the talents are higher level, and yeah, nice damage reduction. Okay, so that is the support and the general basis of the Elementalist Conjuror DPS kind of skills and such, and the support it provides. Now, it's all about the rotation. So, obviously, I'm not going to be showing you off like the top damage. I'm going to go through what the rotation order is and why. So, the initial burst, so basically when you open up on a monster, you want to start off with the path skill, so it'll be Conjuring Force, followed by the Elemental Matrix, which is in my top left, and I work through from left to right on the top row. So the Dragon Breathing, because it puts the dot up and really high initial damage. You've also got the Fiery Magma, puts a really nice dot on it whilst the Conjuring Force is up. The Inferno, the Descending Inferno, I'm still learning the names. Really high damage, does 3 hits, just single target there. And then you've also got the Glacial Spike, and Glacial Spike can reset Conjuring Force. However, the Conjuring Force is activated throughout that whole duration up until that point, so it resetting then is actually going to be more useful, so then you can directly reuse it after you use the Ice Bolt, meaning that you can get some extra damage out. However, the Glacial Spike should be used on cooldown, then on after, mostly, you know, to get the resets on the Conjuring Force, because Conjuring Force is where most of your damage is going to be coming from, but you need skills, mostly the dots, up and running, even Elemental Matrix, because that also puts a dot up and a nice big little burst damage at the end. So let me open up and you guys can see it now. So Conjuring Force, Elemental Matrix, auto attack, Dragon Breathing, auto attack, Inferno, the Magma, sorry, then the Inferno, then the Glacial Spike, then the Ice Bolt, and then you just auto damage. Didn't get any resets. Wait for your skills to come off before you use the Elemental Matrix, as we obviously know. It does improve your intellect and you want to use everything underneath it. I did use the Dragon Breathing a little bit too soon. I should have used the Conjuring Force first before using it, but it's not the end of the world. A little bit of damage loss, because obviously Dragon Breathing has a nice big initial damage burst. So keep that in mind. Don't do that same mistake. But I'm waiting for it to come, for Conjuring Force to come off cooldown now. Wait for it a little bit. Let's go. Get the Elemental Matrix up. Get that going. And it does so much more damage. And it's definitely worth the wait. I've tested it out. So yeah, as you can see, my damage is in the top right corner. Used the Elemental Matrix. So I did get the Conjuring Force off the reset. So I'm just going to use these on cooldown now because, well, we've got the reset like I said earlier. So we're going to wait for Dragon Breathing now before we use the next Conjuring Force. It is worth keeping Conjuring Force off cooldown until Dragon Breathing is up, as I'm going to show you now. So use that Elemental Matrix, then Dragon Breathing as soon as it comes off. And it is a damage boost, as you'll see once you do your own testing. Okay, so look, that's a nice little cheeky reset, and it's pretty much just this rotation. Now do keep in mind that doing the commentary whilst also trying to do this is actually a lot harder than some of you maybe think, whilst maintaining a nice damage rotation and also high DPS on the dummy, but I will leave it there. So 7.9, kind of going between 7.9 to 8.1k isn't too bad. As you saw, the mana in the top left didn't go down much at all, and that test was approximately 1 to 2 minutes. So yeah, overall not too bad. So that is pretty much the damage rotation. It is mostly a priority. As I said, Dragon Breathing and Fiery Magma should always be used within the Conjuring Force. The Fiery Magma with its short cooldown, you can use it outside of it, obviously, with the Elemental Matrix. You should always be able to get a Fiery Magma off during the Conjuring Force due to the, I think it's 6-second cooldown it has. Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure it's 6 seconds. Oh, it's 10 seconds even. So my mistake. However, the Conjuring Force is 20 seconds, Fiery Magma 10 seconds. They do correlate very, very well, where the Dragon Breathing is a slightly higher cooldown at pretty much 15 seconds. But with the talents, you can reduce the cooldown as well over time. So yeah, once you get the talents up and running, stuff is going to be a little bit more fluid. But yeah, that is that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something at least. Do keep in mind that it's more of a beginner's rotation because I haven't unlocked the other 2 skills yet, which is the Elemental Breath and the Water Elemental. And I will also be going for a talent video once I get myself some more essences, and I will show an updated video then in terms of damage. And yeah, if you guys would like to see the ice and fire, let me know. Like the video, comment down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and take it easy. Have a good day, everyone.